Hey, friends, thanks for joining. Let's begin lying on our backs this morning. So lie down, get comfortable, not too comfortable though, and just take a moment to allow the floor to take your body weight. Allow your upper and lower rows of teeth to separate and feel your tongue widen inside your mouth. Soften your eyes. Now begin to draw your awareness inward. So begin to practice pratyahara. Draw your senses and your awareness inward, the way a turtle draws its limbs into the shell. So you really notice how it feels to be in your body today at this time. And then also begin to notice your breath. And start to feel your body breathe. All right, now let's begin here, or I guess continue here with some easy windshield wipers. So have your bend your knees, have the soles of your feet on the floor. Now, keep in mind as we begin these windshield wipers and we get some rotation in here on our hips and thighs. If you keep your feet closer together, it's going to affect your spine a little bit more. It put a little more emphasis on rotation of your spine. The further you have your feet away from each other, it will put a little more emphasis in your hips. So both are good. And in fact, you could try, you can experiment like we do sometimes in class and try different distances between your feet. But just have that little information there and you choose which feels better. But then bring your arms out like a T or a cactus, whichever you have room for. And then next time you exhale, drop your knees to your left and turn your chin to your right. And when you inhale, bring your knees up and look up. This exhale, drop your knees to your right and turn your chin to your left. Yep. And let's just keep going another, I don't know, 60 seconds or so with these easy supine windshield wipers. Moving your knees side to side like your shins are windshield wipers. When your knees drop to one side, turn your chin, turn your head to the other side. Look to the other direction. And like I mentioned, feel free to experiment with the width between your feet. Of course, especially since we're just beginning, going nice and slowly, move nice and slowly with the breath. And just a few more times. Okay, now the next time you go to that first side, so next time you drop your knees to your left, keep them there. And if it feels good, bring your left ankle on your right thigh. But if you do that and it hurts, of course, skip that part. And take a few slow, smooth breaths here. You might need to make little kind of micro adjustments to make it feel good. Okay. And then change side. Drop your knees to your right and turn your chin to your left. Make little adjustments if necessary. If it feels good, right ankle on top of your left thigh. All right, great. Unwind. Now, draw your knees into your chest and make some circles with them so you massage your lower back on the floor a bit. And go the other direction. Okay, good. Now stretch your left leg out to the floor. Hold your right thigh. And as you exhale here, use your hands to pull your right thigh in. So you feel, ideally, you feel your right thigh compress the right side of your abdomen. Now, this next time you inhale, press your right foot up to the ceiling so you open the back of your right knee and your right leg is vertical-ish. And then repeat. When you exhale, bend your knee and pull your thigh in so you feel it compress the right side of your abdomen. And then press your right foot back up and try that 5 or 6 more times. So at first you feel some compression in the right side of your abdomen from your thigh, and then you feel obviously a stretch in the back of your right thigh when you press your foot up. All right, now this time keep your right leg up. Imagine you're standing on the ceiling with the sole of your right foot. And then make a circular motion with your right toes so you mobilize your right ankle. Keep your right leg still, keep the rest of your body, in fact, very still, but make a circular motion with your toes and your foot so you mobilize your ankle. And go both directions. All right, now don't use your hands and allow this right knee here to bend freely so you can make a big circular motion with it. Make a big circular motion, really moving, making a big circle with your right thigh bone within the hip socket. So you mobilize your right hip joint now. And then reverse it, go the other direction. Okay, let's change sides. So pull your left leg in first. Hold your left thigh and then compress the left side of your abdomen with your left thigh. Now press your left foot up to the ceiling, then bend your knee again, compress your abdomen like the first side 5 or 6 times. And once it feels like you've gone to both sides an equal number of times, keep your left leg up. Imagine you're standing on the ceiling with the sole of your left foot, but then make a circular motion so you mobilize your left ankle now. Go both directions. All right, now don't use your hands and let your left knee bend freely so you can mobilize your left hip and make a big circular motion with your left thigh. Reverse it. Okay, now bring both knees in toward your chest, but don't use your hands and make circles with both knees, but in opposite directions. Make circles with both knees, but in opposite directions. And go the other direction. Last one on our backs for right now. Let's do a little bridging. The feet on the floor, and kind of like earlier with that windshield upper you can have your feet close together. You can have them wide. Either way is good. Just kind of experiment and see which width between your feet feels best for you for these bridges. Press your hips up and lift your arms, and then lower back down. Up and down on the breath. At your own pace, really mindful of each vertebra articulating into the next. And in fact, we're going to do one more kind of this variation of the bridge. We're going to do the side bridge. So now, the next time you exhale, reach with your right arm, kind of at a diagonal over there. Lift your hips and kind of stretch to the corner of the room. So you lift completely off your back. You're kind of balancing on your other arm, but both of your feet are still firmly planted on the floor. And then bring your back to the floor again and change sides. Reach with your left arm and stretch kind of an angle, a diagonal kind of motion side to side. Okay. And once you've gone in both directions, draw your knees into your chest. Now, if you have any lower back issues, it might just be a better idea to roll off to a side and push yourself up. If it feels okay, begin to rock a little back and forth to massage the muscles along your spine. Let's come up to seated. Stretch one leg forward, bend your other knee, and use your hands to massage that foot so you wake up all its little joints. Great. Now wake up your other foot. Okay, let's do some kneeling salutations next. Up to all fours. Inhale here. Extend your spine so your sternum moves away from your navel, and curl your toes under so you can exhale back into dog pose. Now this inhale, return to table pose and extend your spine. This exhale, now child's pose, tightening your abdomen on the way back. And then finally, inhale, sweep your arms up and open the fronts of your hips. Exhale back into child's pose and begin that sequence again. Inhale up to all fours, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale to your hands and knees, extend your spine. Exhale to pose of a child. Tighten the breadbasket. Inhale, reach up, open the fronts of your hips. Exhale back to child's pose. I'm going to talk you through that sequence one more time. Inhale to all fours. Exhale to dog pose. Inhale to table pose. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale to candlestick pose. Then back to child's pose. Okay, go through that sequence a couple more times on your own, at your own pace. Use the movements of your body to help stretch the breath. Okay. Now, the next time you're in down dog, let's stay there. Let's meet in this down dog. And once you're here, feel free to pedal your feet back and forth and or shift your hips a little bit side to side. Okay, now step your right foot forward to your right thumb and then bring your left knee to the floor. Now go ahead and lift up. Let's come into a low lunge here. So your left knee is down. Obviously, if you need extra padding on your left knee, get a pillow or something like that. Begin with your right knee stacked over your right ankle, but then sink deeper and so you can get your right knee stacked over your right little toes. And then lift back up so your knees over ankle and then knee over toes. Just try that 5 or 6 more times so you continue to wake up your left hip and your right ankle. All right, good. Now this time, stay in the deeper lunge. And if it feels good, you can lift one left arm up, you can lift both arms up, whatever you want here. So ideally now you'll feel something, probably the most intense opening in the front of your left hip. You can even have a little side stretch here if you like. Take a few slow, smooth breaths. Okay, good. Then just bring both hands to the floor and step back into down dog. And let's throw another kneeling salute in there. So inhale to all fours. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale, reach up. Then back to child's pose. Table pose. Dog pose. And then we'll change. That's now left foot forward. Right knee down. Lift up. Now your left knee stacked over your left ankle. But then sink deeper so your left knee goes over your toes. Knee over ankle, knee over toes a few more times. Wake up the front of your right hip now and your left ankle. Okay, now this time, sink deep. Reach your right arm up, or if it feels better, both arms up. You can add a little side stretch in there as well as you like, or any kind of little kind of micro adjustments. Okay, good. Back to down dog. One last kneeling salutation. This time, though, let's end up in child's pose. Let's come into child's pose. And once you're here, breathe into your back so you literally feel the back of your rib cage expanding when you inhale, like you're breathing into that area behind your heart. And walk your hands over toward the left side of your mat. And breathe into the right side of your rib cage and your right lung. Then change sides. Now walk your hands over toward the right side of your mat and breathe into the left side of your rib cage and your left lung. Okay, back to the center. Now, slide forward. Let's come right into crocodile pose next. All the way into the prone position here. Lie on your abdomen. Rest your forehead on your hands. Really good spot to breathe into your entire torso. Fill your torso with breath. All right, let's do the half frog. Bring your left knee out to the side. Your left toes pointing that angle, that direction too. Your left knee should be like in a 90-degree angle. Now, as you do that, of course, chances are your left hip lifted up a little bit. So see if you can sink the front of your left hip down toward the floor again. And once you have, lift your left foot and ankle up and down off the floor. So you actively internally rotate that thigh, as well as get an obvious stretch in the inner left thigh. And then ask your left foot and ankle to hover off the floor for a few breaths. Okay, bring it back down. Bring your legs together and change sides. Now, right knee out to the side, so it's at a 90-degree angle with your right toes pointing out. And then chances are your right hip lifted up, so see if you can sink it back toward the floor. Now, lift your right foot and ankle up and down, up and down. And once it feels like you've gone to both sides an equal number of times, keep your right foot and ankle hovering off the floor. Okay, legs together. Now left arm off to the side for the side scorpion. So left arm is out to your side, about shoulder height, palm facing down. Roll to your left and bring your right foot someplace near your left hand, and then slide your left foot the other direction so you split your legs. Take a few full, smooth breaths here. And change sides. All right, back to the center. Let's come into Sphinx pose next. So you're on your forearms, elbows directly under your shoulders. Grip here with your hands and see if you can pull your rib cage forward away from you to create some more length in your waist. Then bend your knees and make some circles with your shins. Both directions, of course. Okay, feet back to the floor. Either stay in Sphinx a little bit longer, or if it feels good, lift into a bigger Cobra, where your hips are on the floor, or hips off the floor for upward facing dog. Any one of those three are good. Now, one more time back into downward facing dog. And this time in down dog, press your thighs back a little further. So you can press, especially the tops of your thigh bones, back just a little bit further. All right, good. Let's come down to all fours and just have a seat here for a moment. And let's do some inversions now. So let's have the option of both, one after the other, that is, headstand and shoulder stand. And now those are, of course, really two of the most classical yoga poses or mudras that there are. But there's tons of variations. So I feel really comfortable in headstand and somewhat comfortable in shoulder stand. I'll modify a bit. But those are obviously strenuous, and if you have any neck issues, they're not great for you. So I'm going to do a headstand for about a minute. You feel free to do headstand if you feel very stable in it, or you can do a forearm stand or handstand against the wall. You could do dolphin, so just on your forearms with your head off the floor. So let's do something upside downish for about a minute, either on our head or hands or forearms. We're going to do shoulder stand next, so don't do that yet. Okay, so one of those 3 or 4 things I just mentioned, just for about a minute. I'm going to keep my eye on the clock here. If you're still up, and begin to lower down slowly with control. Child's pose or whatever, resting pose that feels good for you. After that, okay, then next, shoulder stand or something like shoulder stand. You can always slide your legs up the wall. Put a block under your hips, blankets under your elbows. You can do the modified form, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of shift my hips more into my hands so I feel less pressure on my neck. And also for about a minute or so. And then if plow feels okay for your neck and your low back, feel free to practice plow as well, any variation of it. And we'll end up on our backs again, just for a moment to adjust. All right, then we'll come back up to seated. Now into any comfortable seated posture. Actually, we'll go ahead and stretch our legs forward first. And we'll do some seated windshield wipers next. So lean back on your hands, bend your knees, and like earlier, side to side. But this time, instead of being on your back, you're taking plenty of weight on your hands so you don't feel any compression in your spine. But you're able to move your lower body freely again on the breath. Exhale when you drop your knees to the side, and inhale when they come back up. All right, now this next time you drop your knees to your left, keep them there. Now we're going to make some circular movements with your upper body in this kind of 90-90-ish position. So keep in mind, if you really have your knees at 90-degree angles and your thighs at 90 degrees, it's probably going to be a little more intense in your hips, maybe your knees too. If they're bent more, it'll be a little less intense. So do whichever one feels appropriate for you, especially if the one doesn't cause any pain. It should feel pretty good. You should feel something, but it shouldn't hurt. So if it does hurt, readjust so you have either less or more of a bend in your knees. And again, you're dropping your knees to your left here at first. And then make some little circles with your upper body. In fact, you can make some little circles, make some big circles. Hands on the floor, hands off the floor, wherever feels right for you. So again, you're creating more circulation in your hip joints. Then let's just do a little twist. So bring your hands to the floor outside your left thigh and turn your shoulders. It could feel good to have your hands on the floor or your forearms on the floor, whichever one you prefer. All right, then unwind and change. Side drop your knees to your right. Check out the angles of your knees and your thighs, and then make some circles with your upper body. Check out this side. And then do a twist. Good. Then unwind. Let's just come into the butterfly next. And bring the soles of your feet together and sit up nice and tall here. Take a few breaths. And then begin to lean forward over your feet. All right. Now stretch your right leg forward. Keep your left knee bent. And you can bring your left foot to your inner right thigh if you like. Let's do a couple different variations here. First, of course, sit up nice and tall. And then turn your shoulders to your left. So you're kind of like facing your bent knee, your left knee. And then just reach with your right fingers for your right toes. Now, if you can't reach, you can always bend your knee. You can always grab a belt or a rope or something, hold on to your foot. But once you're here, don't worry so much about trying to pull yourself down toward this leg. In fact, once you have a connection with your toes or your foot or a belt or whatever, do the opposite. Try to pull away from the straight leg. So your spine is relatively flat or long, keeping good extension in your spine. But you're still turning your shoulders to your left, so you're kind of still trying to face that left knee. And now just bring your left fingertips toward the ceiling. I know there's variations where you reach both hands toward that foot over there. But for today, just reach your left fingertips as high as you can to try to touch the ceiling. Take a few full deep breaths here. You should feel the breath getting a little bit more into the left side of your rib cage and your left lung. Okay, good. Bring your arm down and just change sides. Stretch your left leg forward. Bend your right knee so your right foot's on your inner left thigh. And then turn your shoulders to your right so you're kind of looking at your right knee over here, your bent knee. Hold your left toes or big toe or something with your left hand. Now try to pull away from your left thigh. And by the way, as you pull your torso away from your left thigh, resist your left thigh down toward the floor. And then finally, reach your right fingertips as high as you can. Try to touch the ceiling with your right fingertips. And then breathe into the right side of your rib cage and your right lung. All right, good. That's right. Now stretch both legs forward and hold all of your toes. If you can't reach your toes, bend your knees until you can for this one. So you're ideally here bringing your abdomen to your thighs. All right, good. Sit back up. Now lie onto your back again. Once you're on your back, let's repeat that windshield wiper action, but instead of doing it dynamically, we'll just do it statically. So bend your knees, drop them to your left, turn your chin to your right, and then just stay here like earlier if it feels good. Left ankle on your right thigh, so your right thigh and hip have a deep internal rotation again. Now see if you can direct some of that breath down into the front of your right hip. So direct the energy of the breath down to the front of your right hip. And change sides. Okay, unwind, pull your knees into your chest. And then before Shavasana, let's practice tadaka mudra. Reach your arms overhead and use the strength of your arms and legs to really lengthen your spine. Tuck your chin, exhale all the breath out. Very end of exhale. Suck your navel back so you hollow out your abdomen and it resembles an empty pool. After a second or two, relax your abdomen. Inhale. And repeat. Exhale all the breath out in all three bandhas. Let's try that one more time. All right, now relax your arms and legs and take a minute to do whatever it feels like you need to do to make yourself super comfortable for Shavasana. Now let's get really comfortable, like we started class. Yep, and like before, again, allow the floor to take your body weight. Allow your upper and lower rows of teeth to separate. Feel your tongue widen inside your mouth, soften your eyes, even release your breath. So you're not shaping it or controlling it, just observing it now and taking a few moments here to watch your navel rise and fall on each breath, helping to integrate body and mind. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes and roll your ankles and wrists. Take the next minute or so to work yourself back up to seated and into any comfortable seated posture. All right. We'll do a few rounds of nadi kriya. As always, I'll talk us through the first round, and you can do a couple rounds then on your own. All right. Sit up nice and tall, close your eyes, and when you're ready here, 9 kapalabhati breaths. After 9, block off your left nostril, inhale through your right. On top of inhale, release your hand down. Now retain the breath in. So hold the breath in and just practice being really still. When it feels like you need to exhale, block off your right nostril and exhale through your left. Once you've exhaled completely, then release your hand down and take a normal breath. Followed by 9 more kapalabhatis. Now block off your right nostril and inhale through your left. Now pause, find that stillness again. When it feels like you need to exhale, block off your left nostril and exhale through your right. And finish the round now by inhaling through your mouth but making a sound in your throat. Then just do a 1-second pause, followed by a hissing sound to help stretch the exhale. Okay, so that was one round. Let's actually just continue for about 5 more minutes on your own. Just continue. I'll keep an eye on. I'll keep my third eye on the clock. We'll go for about 5 minutes from here. All right, once you've completed this round, allow yourself to breathe freely again. And if it feels like you need to change the cross of your legs or adjust your seat in any way, take care of that. Now bring your awareness into your brain. Bring your awareness into your brain and see it very clear and open like an empty blue sky. See and feel your mind very clear and open like an empty blue sky. If a thought arises, see it as a single cloud passing through the sky. So allow it to come, acknowledge it, but then allow it to pass. Once it has passed, then again, notice your mind very clear and open, just like an empty blue sky. All right, then bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra. Take one last moment to enjoy the peace you've created through the practice. Create a little heat in your hands. And once you build some heat, rest your hands over your eyes. Feel it moving and recharging your senses. And take one last slow, smooth breath in here. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed class. Have a fantastic day. And I hope I get to see you again soon.